Welcome back to Chat Room. This is John. I'm with my co-host.
Hey, Michael here.
So today we have some of the top paying jobs without a college degree. And to start that off, for the first job that has the highest paid in the Chattanooga area by ONET database is a mail sorter. $47,000 on average in the Tennessee area.
I wonder if does it look like it's specifically like with the postal service, or is that UPS, FedEx, or anything like that?
Yeah, it's with the U.S. Postal Service.
Okay.
And also they have on top of that $47,000 salary, they have pretty good benefits from what I'm reading and from what I've
Oh
heard.
yeah, yeah. I was gonna definitely say, like anecdotally, I've had a number of friends that have worked at the postal office, and a lot of them are like, I don't know why I left that job. And now I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know why you did either. So
Right.
yeah, I could see it.
I definitely agree with that. So the next three that it has that's like the highest paid is like drivers. Just all sorts of drivers. So it's got a truck driver, like 18 wheelers. I guess like drivers right here. It's got for like FedEx, UPS, just different logistic companies. And that's about it in second place. But driving without a college degree makes you really good money. I mean, you're above average slightly.
Yeah, yeah, I know the trucking industry has been a little difficult because there's been some changes there that have probably made it a little less ideal than it used to be. Like one of my friend's
Hmm.
dad worked his whole life in the trucking industry and they've treated him great. He's really enjoyed it. I mean, he's never been trying to be rich, but he's been happy and he got his kids, in good places in life. But yeah, some of that stuff's changed.
On top of that, I worked for FedEx for a little bit on the weekends, and I didn't drive like a huge truck, but I drove like a van with 100 packages. And there's two perks to being a truck driver, or there's one perk and then there's one big downfall to being a truck driver. The first perk is you pretty much are your own boss. There's nobody to kind of tell you what to do. There's no one, like micromanaging you like on an 8-hour day. So it's pretty much just you, the truck, and the package, and where you're going versus or picking up. Bad part about being a truck driver, I would say, is you're constantly looking at maps. You're constantly driving, so you have a higher risk of being in like a car accident that year. Is the way I look at it. You're constantly taking left and right turns. You're going down back roads. Like you're nonstop driving 8 hours a day, 5 days to 7 days a week
Yeah.
in a car, nonstop. Highways, neighborhoods, you know what I mean? So I feel like when you put that into like a 50-year career and you're driving 8 hours, maybe 8 to 12 hours a day, there's a lot of risks when you put that in a 50-year scale to me.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I know a lot of that because you work for a contractor too, right? So did that
Yeah.
make any difference or?
I mean, not really.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure, like, because, how that works as far as, like, if there's any benefits and, it wasn't your full-time job, so maybe you can't speak to that 100%.
Right. Well, I mean, I think that it benefits more of like the actual contractor more than it benefited me because essentially I worked for FedEx, but I worked for the contractor at the same time. But the contractor just picks up routes that FedEx can't handle, or maybe they could handle it, but they don't want to do the hiring process. They don't want to do the paying. They don't want to do, they kind of just rather give it to somebody and say, you make income off this wearing our logo. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's kind of like McDonald's, like the first one was started and then, hey, who wants to represent this brand in different cities and different states and different areas? But you got to use our business model. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and sometimes that can be a good thing, but other times I feel there can be downsides. So I was just curious.
Right.
Drivers definitely make sense as somebody who would, yeah, do pretty well.
Okay. So right here, we have in third place is a correctional officer making around 35.7 thousand.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take that as it's not completely accurate because when you click on the ONET database, there's a offer for a job to apply. It's 39,000 in Hamilton County Sheriff's Office. There's one in Franklin, Tennessee that says 18.27 an hour. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's kind of right. What would you think?
Yeah, maybe for the average. I don't know if there's like a lot of opportunity for seniority there. So somebody coming in, but that just seems like that would be a hard, thankless job. And I would definitely want to be paid a little more.
Yeah, I mean, those guys definitely deserve to be paid a lot more. I'm not saying it's like a bad job. I've actually heard from some people that it's a decent job, but it just seems like you're putting a lot on the line for that salary. And I think those guys work a lot harder and should get a lot more, honestly. I think anybody in the police department should get paid more, but that's another story. Okay, so coming in fourth place, we have customer service representatives. I think that's just completely out there. I mean, that can mean anything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that is, and I do wonder too if this how recent this data is, because working from home in a lot of ways and how that's been set up. Plus, these are some of the jobs that they've had to kind of start paying more to retain. So
Right, yeah.
otherwise, and it is such a wide span, but otherwise I would have thought that wouldn't have been as high. But now I do know, yeah, if you're like for a big company, that actually treats employees well,
Right.
that could be great. While I feel like some of these ones, it's no, it's yeah.
Yeah. Right here, it's got Blue Cross Blue Shield customer service representatives in Hamilton County make approximately about 34,000, which is not bad. I mean, it's according to Indeed, you get to work from home. So 34,000, work from home, answer some phone calls, help customers out. It's not a bad gig.
Oh yeah. And that's another one I have anecdotal evidence from having a lot of friends work there.
Yeah.
Where there's real opportunity for going up. Like that's a place where you're not going to make just that for very long. Like after 6 months, assuming you're doing even just kind of well, no like obvious red flags, you'll start moving up. So to me, like that sounds lower perhaps for somebody entering in, but that's just an example of a company that would raise you up.
Yeah.
Versus maybe, I don't know, I think I'm trying to we've had some kind of places where it's just empty office buildings and it's call centers, and it's like this week you're working for whether it's AT&T or somebody else, and sometimes those places, and they are contractors, sometimes those places I think of as kind of like the low end.
Right.
So
and I know some people that work for some big like insurance healthcare companies, like my aunt, and I'm pretty sure like the way they describe it, like customer service rep, that is the real interview. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, let's see what you got. Here's a headset. Here's a computer. Let's see how you work with customers, how you communicate with them, and how your drive is to help them. And if you can do that, you can move anywhere you want to in that company with time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, definitely. If we ever do an episode on like job skills that everybody should have, some sort of customer service, because even in the most like techie, remote kind of jobs, there's always some element of that, whether it's internal customers, you're doing stuff for other parts of your company, or external. So that makes sense that they would kind of use that as a gateway.
Right. And I think customer service rep teaches you to deal with all types of clients. Like I know at work, both me and you, we get mad clients, we get happy clients, we get new business clients. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that comes through that phone. Clients that don't even mean to work with us, but it still call us. You know what I mean? It's a whole different ballgame. So, I mean, you don't know what you're getting into with customer service. That could mean anything.
Oh, yeah. It definitely prepares you for anything.
Alrighty. And let's see. I got the last one coming up.
Yeah, drum roll.
Drum roll. Okay, so actually in fifth place is driving again. So I think driving, honestly, if the folks are listening, driving is probably your best bet if you want to make the most money, or be average, or be a little bit below average, because most of these are just driving jobs.
I would think too, and you might know this better, but I'm sure you could transition from a lot of these too. So like if you are able to drive for this company, even if it's not the same, you could probably take those skills and then drive for one of these ones that pays even better.
Mm-hmm. To be honest, I'm kind of done with this list because it just keeps talking about driving after that. I'm going to put my own fifth high paying job, and that's construction. And I'm just going to go very like broad with that. I don't know if it means like welding, window installers, electricians, or even the guys that, where we work, installers with no degrees. I mean,
yeah,
that's a high paying job. So like just, I guess, maintenance, learning how to work on things with your hands, building things. You don't need a construction management degree to get into the construction field and be successful. I mean, that is probably one of the most proven fields. You don't need a degree to be successful.
Yeah, definitely.
At all.
I think we kind of even alluded to it a bit in our episode talking about kind of the value of elite colleges. But even before now, but definitely now, trade schools are back in a big way, and part of it is because you get these life skills.
Hmm.
And yeah, you don't necessarily need a degree, so you don't have to burden yourself with all that debt,
Hmm.
but you can get some good paying jobs.
Yeah, and if you're willing just to kind of stick your feet in right after high school, I mean, you might not start off like more than $15 an hour, but you'd be surprised what you're making by the time you're 23 if you focus. You know what I mean? And get the skills down, welding, all that stuff. So, I mean, I'm gonna put that one at probably it's not even number 5, but it'd probably be at like number 1. There's a lot of growth in that.
Yeah, definitely. And kind of like customer service, it's such a varied kind of field in a lot of ways.
Hmm.
So, yeah, if you just find, the right company, or, if you're in the right city or state,
Hmm.
because I'm sure some of these pay more in other places.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think you're right to not just put that at 5, but put it up the list.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, well, that's your chat room. You got your highest paying jobs without a college degree. Go get those jobs.